Hi, I'm Cece. I'm the registered dietitian with Kanima Fitness. Today we're going to talk about our immune system and nutrition as we make a fun summer kebab recipe. Today's summer kebab can be made in the oven or on the grill. I personally don't have access to a grill, so we're going to do it in the oven, but you can take this recipe and the flavors and do it on the grill as well. So with summer, we want to think about introducing lots of different fruits and vegetables that are in season, and we still want to focus on our balanced meals, and that's going to help our immune system in turn. So a few of the nutrients that are important and play a big role in our immunity include vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, and protein. So if we find that we're filling our plate with that balanced proportion that we usually always talk about, so being half your plate being fruits and vegetables, a quarter of your plate being lean proteins, and a quarter of your plate being healthy starches, then you're probably achieving adequate protein amounts. So in this summer kebab recipe, we're going to use shrimp for our protein source. You can take this and do salmon, or you can do chicken, or you can do any sort of lean protein that suits your food preferences, or you can take it a little more plant-based and maybe do a tofu. But today I'm gonna do a shrimp version. And then with it, we're also gonna use some bell peppers, which are high in vitamin C. So that's gonna play a big role with our immunity, and just kind of focusing too on adding a variety of fruits and vegetables in your diet can help ensure that you're getting all the different micronutrients that can support our overall health. So with that, we're gonna get started with our recipe. Right now I have the wooden skewers soaking in water, and that's gonna take about 15 to 20 minutes. It helps reduce the likelihood of them burning when they're in the oven. If you're using a grill, you can use metal skewers. Those might be a little bit safer and less risk for a little bit of the splinters to happen. But if you're getting food safe, wooden skewers, it should be great to go in the oven or on the grill. Just make sure that you're soaking them with water first, just to prevent extra burning. So while that's being soaked, I have my oven set to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to go ahead and prep some vegetables and our sauce. I'm gonna start by cutting my bell pepper. So we're just gonna cut it into small pieces so that it can go onto the kebab. So I'm gonna cut it in half, and I like to just do it this way to help reduce some of the seeds that spill out all the way. And so we're gonna cut it into pieces like this. And that way it'll slide just straight onto the kebab. I'm gonna get rid of this line right here. And that should be the perfect size. So I'm just going to finish cutting up this bell pepper so that they're all this size. All my bell peppers are cut up into small pieces for the kebab. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the red onion, so then they're in similar size pieces of the bell pepper. My onions are chopped. Now I'm going to slice up the zucchini and the yellow squash into just small coins, and then those will eventually go on the skewers as well. I had already put the bell peppers in a bowl. I'm gonna add the zucchini and the yellow squash to a bowl as well, so that way the sauce will just go into that, so it kind of marinates it. I'm going to leave the onion on the side just because it's a little bit more fragile, and I don't want it to, all the pieces to fall apart when I mix it in the bowl, so I'm gonna just leave it off to the side, but it'll still get enough flavor. And I'm gonna make extra sauce too, so that once the kebabs are done cooking in the oven, I can have it on the side for a little bit more flavor. But we're gonna make the sauce first for a marinade and then have extra for dipping afterwards. So that is the plan. We're gonna finish with this yellow squash, just cutting it up really quickly. And then that should be it with the vegetables that we need to prepare. We're also gonna do tomatoes, but kind of like the onions. I'm doing the cherry tomatoes, so they don't need to be prepared. And honestly, for ease of making it, I'm just going to add them straight to the skewer instead of having them marinate. And really the bell peppers and the zucchini and the yellow squash are going to absorb the flavors of the marinade a little bit more. And we're also going to use the same marinade for the shrimp. Into my ramekin, I have some garlic. I'm going to add some lemon juice. So we're going to do the juice of 1 lemon. So I have about 1 clove of garlic in here, 1 lemon. We're gonna add some olive oil. Okay, and then mix it up really good. So now that's all mixed pretty well, we're going to add some thyme and parsley. So with the thyme, I'm just going to keep the sprigs, take the sprigs, and then just scrape it off, just letting the thyme go into the mixture, just more for the flavor. You can always add dried thyme for the same flavor, up to you. Mix it through, and then I'm going to chop up some parsley and add the parsley to the mix as well. That everything is mixed into the marinade, I'm just going to pour it in the bowl with all the veggies, and I'm realizing that all of this is probably going to go into this bowl, so I'm going to have to make this all over again for my sauce for the side at the end. And we'll let it all go in there. And we'll let everything ruminate for a little bit longer, and after about 10-15 minutes, allowing the flavors to absorb into the veggies, then we'll start assembling the kebabs. Now that the veggies are all marinated, I'm gonna redo the same thing with the shrimp as well and let that marinate too. And then we'll come back and make the kebabs all together. So now that everything has marinated for a little bit and my skewers have been sitting in water for about 15-20 minutes, I'm going to start adding everything to the kebab piece. So I'm just gonna start with maybe a zucchini for this first one. And then let's add a bell pepper piece. Maybe we'll do a shrimp now. Watching out for the pointy part of the skewer. Piece of onion. Just gonna add this whole block right here. Oops. Again, I'm trying to be careful because of the pointy part. Don't need to hit myself. Okay, what else are we gonna add? Maybe a piece of the yellow squash. And I also have the tomato. Get those out. And then yeah, just repeating this process over and over, making your kebab as colorful as you want it. You know, you can lower it depending on how big your skewer is, adding as many flavors as you want, as many variety of colors, you know, and you can personalize this to which vegetables you like the most. You know, this is all up to you. And then once we have all of our kebabs done, I'm just gonna add it to a baking sheet that is lined with aluminum foil. I'll probably add a little bit more olive oil, just like a spray olive oil, just to make sure that everything is coated well with some oil so that it cooks evenly. And then we'll put it in the oven that has been preheating at 425. And then I'll set my alarm probably for about 10-15 minutes and then reassess from there, just because personally my oven time definitely varies. So this is what this first kebab looks like. It's a lot of color with different veggies. You can definitely add more shrimps too. I'll probably have some that are a few more shrimps than just one. I just got carried away with all the veggies. So I'm gonna finish up this and then we'll come back together to see how it looks after the oven. Okay, my first few skewers are about to go into the oven. Everything is all done straight from the oven. I toasted a piece of pita, so I'm gonna have it alongside of it for some good carbohydrates. But we have our loaded veggie summertime kebab with some shrimp on it, and this is what it looks like. I hope you enjoy when you make this for yourself. Have a great rest of your August.